Hello, so today we will learn how to evaluate powers and how to write verbal expressions. So we have x to the y. This means that you will multiply x y amount of times. So for example, here we have x times x times x times x, and that's here I put the ellipses because you don't exactly know how much they're gonna be in the middle because you don't know the value of y, but you know that the number of x's that you list right here will be equal to the number that is y. So let's see an example. We have 5 to the third power. This means that you will multiply 5 3 amount of times. So 5 times 5 times 5. So as I mentioned before, the amount of 5's that you have right here must be equal to your exponent, which is this number right here. So it must be equal to 3, which is the case in this problem. And so now we must evaluate this just by multiplying. So 5 times 5 equals 25 times 5 equals 125. So this is our answer. Now another example is 3 to the fourth power. So again, this means that we must multiply 3 4 times. So 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. As I mentioned before, you must have the same number of threes as the number that you have in your exponent, in this case 4. So that's right. And we multiply 3 times 3, which equals 9, times 3, which equals 27, times 3 again, which equals 81. As a note, any number to the 0 power is equal to 1. So 1 to the 0 is equal to 1. 1,000 to the 0 is equal to 1. 0 to the 0 is equal to 1. So any number to the 0 power, that's just a property, is always equal to 1. Even negative 5 to the 0 is equal to 1. Okay, so now we will learn how to write expressions. So let's say that we have this expression right here. How will you write it? Well, as I mentioned in the previous video, the minus sign could be represented with various words like difference, subtraction, minus, and things like that. So right now, let's do it simple. So we would say a number x minus 5. So here, since this is a variable, but we know that it represents a number, we call it a number x. So whenever you have a letter, but you know that it's a variable, which means that it represents a number, then you know that you must write it as a number x. So this brings me to tell you a little bit about variables. So variables are letters or symbols that represent a given value, a value. So for example, we have x minus 5. We could say that x represents 2, so this would mean 2 minus 5, or it represents a negative 4, so it's negative 4 minus 5. And so x could be anything potentially. When we go to other chapters, you will learn how to find the value for x, but right now we just know it's a variable and it represents a number. Now, another example could be a little bit complex, so let's make it better like that. This is a fraction 7 over 10 times y. So we have 5 times a number y, and number x, I'm sorry, a number x plus 4 minus 7 tenths times y, times a number y. So 7 tenths right here. This means that you are actually multiplying 7 times 1 over 10, which is equal to 7 over 10, which we have right there. So you can review this and you can go over the last video if you have any questions. I hope this helps.